Namaskar and welcome to all. Uh, our Today it's an interesting program. It should be for the Values Day. We are focusing on economic sustainability through valuation at the great Viksit Bharat, uh, which is talk of the town, and how the valuation plays its role uh, in coming up with the valuations which project how the country can go ahead or how the economics of a country can go ahead. I always believe that valuation is like a barometer. So the progress chart can be charted out through valuation. So right kind of valuation gives us the decision making powers for any financial transactions, but at the same time, it has to contribute in the nation building process, and that it is doing, but more is to be done. So that is why we have today uh, we kept this particular session in a interactive session, and we are going to talk only about valuation. So how the valuation contributes and how it can still further contribute, and what are the nuances, and what are its the shortcomings in the present scenario, or what can be the right way of developing the profession further. And I believe all are quite aware that the institution of values since 1968 has carried on this development work in valuation as a profession, and we have reached to this at this end where we stand tall. We are the number one with the maximum number of members, and that too throughout the country. And the quality of the valuation, what our members can produce, no other valuation organization has been able to, which is a matter of monitoring and a matter of adjudging ourselves, and the qualifications or whatever the different aspects of valuation, where we can say that, well, this profession is going to contribute towards the national economy and the dream of our beloved Prime Minister and the government, present government, to make Viksit Bharat in year 2047. So that is what we are going to discuss. So I think I keep this session open. But before I start, President Sarave. So before I start this with the Dr. R.K. Patel, I would like him to be in this forum. And before this, I would say that the institution's activities, I think you must be becoming aware. And present, our focus is on the Indian Valuer Congress 2025 at Raipur, Chhattisgarh, which is their the branch, the host branch is really working hard to make it a great success along with us. And the hospitality of Raipur and other features you will come to know within another 2 months or so. You will be acquainted. So from different parts of the country, when people join, it's a mela, I would say the valuers mela. The purpose is the interaction, physical interaction, and then of course the knowledge is the base. So to gain that knowledge, to experience the knowledge, and to get the knowledge from the experiences of others and other informations, one can grow uh, intellectually and contributing towards his own growth. And in this context, various activities we are undertaking, like assessing the articles previously written in the previous year, and judging them and giving the awards, and many more such activities will come into being, and producing some souvenir for, and this all is from the contribution of the members in one way or the other, either through sponsorship or the registration, delegation fees. And it's a 3 days mela at Raipur. So we would like it to be a great success, because Raipur is hosting for the first time in our all other for this IVC, throughout the journey of institution of values, where this is the 56th such conglomeration. And one or two informations I would like to share here, that as per for the registered valuers of IBBI in the, so recently they have issued some guidelines regarding the holding of all programs, educational programs like MEP, COP training, and CEPs. One third of such programs should be in physical manner. That is, if we are conducting it through webinars, so the total number of seminars or webinars, you can say, one third of such programs should be uh, physical. The rest two-third would be online. But as you all know, institution of values have always been ready for the particular this thing. And I'm glad that this Valuers Day is being celebrated throughout the country by different branches, and those are physical in manner. So we will continue with this and more to come. After the Indian Value Congress is completed, the Indian Values Congress will begin on 16th of 18th of December evening, and on 20th of December. So this is what I wanted to share with you before we proceed, and other activities during this program, I think people will come to know. And till now, the participation is somewhere around 160. So now I'll hand over to Sohail for further this thing program. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vinay sir. Today we are having our vice presidents with us. So I'll request Dr. R.K. Patel sir, please share your views on the future of the valuation in the and the role of valuation in the Viksit Bharat, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. And I welcome all the participants to this celebration of Valuers Day. And it's a nice theme selected by IOV and IOV RVF, that is economic sustainability and Viksit Bharat. All of you must be knowing that this is a fast changing economy, and economy is also passing through very different era, and a lot of uncertainties we have been expecting day to day, and every day that the wars and then tariff changes and all these things have affected to the imports, exports, and then our foreign exchange reserves as well. And that our rupee is getting down day by day because of a lot of uncertainties, and economic sustainability is very important role, important thing, and valuers have to play a very key role in this. That recently even the GST has been this number of slabs have been reduced, and even though the prices should have been affected on the downside, but that has not affected. Okay, I think that also affects our valuations. Okay, when we do the valuations of real estate, infrastructural projects, or large plants and machineries, there also we have to be very careful on day-to-day situation, because that a lot of countries have imports and exports as well. and I think prices are changing every day. So I think valuers have to play very, very important role. And so the GST has also affected, and the way it was expected, it has not happened. And why it has not happened? So because of a lot of other factors, economic factors, and international politics as well. So the valuation is very, very important, and valuers have to play very important role and do their quality work. And I think we have to have and we are talking about the sustainability that also applies to the valuers. Valuers have not only to concentrate in our own country. We have to cross the border and then explore the valuations outside the country, because there are a lot of areas where our valuers are very competent to compete with the international peers. And even we are very price effective, as you may be knowing that in ICT, IT sector and all these things, our Indian professionals are very cost effective compared to the European and American professionals. So similarly, we have to cross the border and then do the international valuation so that we sustain in the long run. And second thing that, okay, international valuation standards we have to follow. Yes, we have to follow, and we have to devise our own Indian valuation standards, because our economy is different than all over the world. So we have to work on that. We have to work on quality valuations. We have to concentrate on a lot of research. Okay, because all these factors which are affecting the prices day by day, and the international politics, the way it has been going, I think it calls for a lot of research and modeling. We have to devise our own valuation models. Real estate and infrastructure is a very, very important sector for the government as well as for the private sector for the future sustainability. So we valuers have to play a very important role and give the quality services to the users, maybe government, maybe banks, or maybe the industry. So these are the things. And then you can say that I think we have to do a lot of research. We have to promote research through the educational institutions and the research scholars. I think we have to invite a lot of research people to do the research in the valuation area. And IOV RVF, of course, is doing and then publishing a lot of magazines. But see, even though we have to contribute our own experience to the journals, and we have to publish our research work in these journals, so that it can be used by the valuers down the line, and they can use this experience of seniors and then research people in their day-to-day practical work. So this is another area of research we have to concentrate, because unless we do the research and we have our own valuation models, because local valuation models are also important, because local factors are included in those research, I think that will help us. So we have to promote that. And of course, this will be discussed in our next Indian Valuers Congress 2025 at Raipur. And whoever participates, I think they will gain a lot of insight into the valuations and in the sustainability, how we can contribute to the nation for the economic sustainability. That is very, very important. So let us deliberate on this during this 2 hours, and then let us come out with good suggestions so that we can implement in our programs. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your insights. Now I would like to ask Sunil, sir, for sharing his views on the theme, on the future of the valuation, sir.
First of all, a very happy Valuers Day to all fellow valuers. Thank you, IOB RVF. Thank you for inviting me to participate in this discussion. Now, Viksit Bharat and economic sustainability of Bharat and the role of valuers in this, is understood by all that more fair the valuation is and better the transactions happen in an economy, the more investors will be attracted to, and they will sort of invest in this particular economy. So values' job is to actually understand the markets and write what they understand of the markets, and move beyond just the calculation that we at times get into. That this is the cost of land, this is the cost of building, A plus B is equal to C, and C is the valuation. I think this method is very old and is losing relevance in the context of Viksit Bharat. And Viksit Bharat can only happen if there are investors that come and invest in your economy. Again, I think a lot of work has been done on smart cities. And, if we were to look at a smart city is the one that attracts investment. You can make roads wider, you can do a lot of improvement in infrastructure. But again, if the infrastructure does not attract any investment or talent, then that kind of investment is really goes down the drain. So I think first thing is the shift in the mindset of, challenging our own status quo. I think if we were to get to Viksit, valuer in a economically sustained, valuable profession, valuation profession, we need to be Viksit ourselves. And by that, I mean we have to change our mindset that valuation techniques have gone moving to a newer territory. People are using AI and people will increasingly use technology to do valuations. So I think that is the first thing that I think is very important for every value to realize that please do not just say that this is the circle rate of a certain property. I'm more talking in the context of land and buildings valuation because that's what I practice in majority. And say this is the valuation. At times I see a lot of valuers writing the circle rate as the value of the property, which may be there in certain cases where the law asks you to do that. But a lot of valuers I've seen will write that and say, this is my valuation report. This is some kind of a practice that I've observed. So a lot of practices that were being done when the valuation profession probably started and some benchmarks were established. I think one has to move away from that mindset to link it to more income approach rather than cost and comparison approach. Comparison approach obviously works, but I think this over-reliance on cost approach, and you look at international valuation standards, they also say that cost should be the last method. When you can do nothing, then you resort to cost. And most of us are engineers, including myself. We believe that because we can estimate the cost of a building very correctly, we are good valuers. So I think that kind of mindset has to really, really change. And sometimes I see even plant and machinery valuers. What they do is, Viksit Bharat तब बनेगा जब हम विकसित तरीके से सोचेंगे और valuation profession को विकसित बनाएंगे. Now, what I see is discounted cost of discounted cost of a new machine is what valuation has come down to. Plant and machinery valuation has come down to कि उसकी cost ली, उसमें age का depreciation लगाया और एक number हमने produce कर दिया. And that is what we call valuation report of plant and machinery. Business valuation also, some benchmark we will take in the market and we will put a value. Paytm did that and this guy. I think there is that independent assessment of valuation which is required by every valuer, and you have to improve your own skills in order for you to do better. And the other thing I will say is that a lot of valuers, and if you look at every profession, even a lawyer today, many students in law college learn digital marketing. They learn AI tools. They learn so much more than just the degree that the student does. Because these have become basics of survival in this modern world. I think we should possibly encourage ourselves to do what is required for our profession and take these multi-skilling courses so that your role is better understood by the market, that you can understand a particular industry or an asset class better. And there are newer asset classes emerging every day. It's no longer a house or an office or a retail mall. It is all warehouse, logistics, hotels, so many other asset classes, data centers. And therefore, I think that's one thing that I would say, which is introspecting inside us and seeing, are we really equipped and what can we do to equip ourselves? And obviously, we will, if we educate ourselves, equip ourselves, will probably command a better fee, which will make our businesses more sustainable. Today, they are very manpower dependent at times, and they can only get better and more efficient if we remove the dependency from manpower alone to something which can be like a model or a artificial intelligence or use some kind of a technology to get there. The second thing I would say is that while we all know how we contribute, there is still, I believe, no formal degree, except one college, I think, in India, or maybe now there are some more, that the go-to degree after class 12th is that I want to become a BSc or a BA or MBA in valuation. That's something which I think some at the industry level, somebody will have to take that effort to actually put this on the education map of valuation on the education map of the country. Otherwise, we borrow from other disciplines and then layer it with some, skills and say that we are all become valuers, which is possibly needs to be corrected. We still do not have an education certification, and it's not popular in the students, so that they look at valuation as a profession. It is still mostly the older people like me who got into valuation because we learned some skills in our trade, and then we said, okay, now we are fit to value. We definitely can do valuation, and therefore it's still a derived trade. Pure play valuation valuers in this country, I dare say, are very, very handful. So that I think it continues to be a problem. But if we have to contribute to this Viksit Bharat and contribute to the economy, that's the third and the last thing is that you know please stop writing what the client wants you to write. I still feel that client education is still very, very much required in this era, where every client wants to do a good job. It's not that clients at times, all clients are bad and they want you to write what they believe in. If you educate the clients, then people will understand your job better. Because Abhi, I see a lot of clients who will dictate you, but when you explain to them, sir, this is the requirements, at times they may not require a valuation. Sometimes people come to me and then I say, sir, I don't think so require a valuation. You require possibly a consultant who will advise you how to give your, who will provide solution to your problem. So उनको लगता है valuation report अगर बनवा लेंगे तो बैंक से funding हो जाएगी. Well, that's not the kind of valuation that you should advise him properly and say that, you probably need a techno-economic feasibility, or if you think valuation will help you, then let me explain to you how it can help you and does that really suit your purpose. And if you want, a valuation, then you have to tell me the purpose of valuation. You have to understand that this report will not be used in 5 other things that you would want to use it to. So unless we try and do some education of the client, it becomes very difficult for anybody to follow any standards, because standards talk about proper engagement first in the assignment. So I think the scope is immense because economy is growing, asset classes are emerging, new businesses are propping up, and therefore valuation will be required by almost everybody, not just banks and investors, but I think corporates at large will require valuation in the right context. So I think that, but to capture that, I think we have to also gear up to catch that opportunity by training ourselves, by equipping ourselves. So that's my view. Thank you.
So thank you, Sunil ji and Patel sir, for your really insights, valuable insights, I would say, which are very important as of today, because now the valuation is taking a next turn. That's what my belief is. We have taken many turns, but now valuation is definitely taking a next step. With the introduction of rule number 514 in income tax bill, there is a different kind of possibility scenario emerging out of that. Previously, it was company rules in 2017. Now we are moving towards the more this thing, because the government of the day is coming to understand that valuation is important, and what you have described, what the real meaning of valuation. And today, I think today's topic, let's talk valuation. It's an apt representation of that topic, that we have to talk about valuation, so that this profession takes a credence above other professions, or not above, but it has its own niche in the society. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Patel
Patel
sir.
sir.
So we have with us our president, Mr. P.K. Tyagarajan. So before inviting him to speak, I would like to wish him happy birthday. Sir, we wish you a very happy birthday and we wish for your best life and success, sir.
So our wishes are
For
for
you
you
to
to continue like how you are. I think our vice presidents and on behalf of council members and other members present or not present, everybody would be by heart wishing you.
Hello.
So thank you for being with us, Tyagaraja ji. Sir, namaskar.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to hear?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Hello.
I think
Hello.
his audio is not working.
Sir, you are audible, sir.
President, sir, you are audible.
Hello.
Sir, we can hear you.
I think there is
Somebody
some.
call Tyagaraja ji and tell him that we can all can hear him. Sohail, can you do that?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
please.
Call him on his phone.
Yes, sir.
To celebrate in a prompt moment. Luckily, today happened to be my birthday also. I am extremely happy to wish all our members for their prosperous profession and also happy life. Then coming to the subject on valuation, I would like to share only a few points which is really required for all our members also on date. I want to share my view as what is value and valuation, why it is important for us in this today's context for the future till 2047. To my knowledge, I would like to share my view on value and valuation. In our everyday lives, we often use the terms value and valuation interchangeably. Yet, these two words have different meanings, applications, and implications. While value represents the inherent worth of a person, object, or principle, valuation refers to the act of estimating or measuring that worth in a particular context, often in financial or market terms. Understanding the difference between the two is essential not only in the business world but also in our personal lives. Understanding value is the intrinsic worth of something. It exists irrespective of whether we measure it or not. Values can be economic, moral, social, or personal. For example, honesty, trust, and respect are values
in our human life. While durability, utility, and scarcity add value to physical goods. Example, in life, a teacher may not earn a very much salary, but the value he or she creates by shaping students' future is immeasurable. Like that, we values also are doing to the society and also to our nation. Then understanding valuation. Valuation, on the other hand, is the process of estimating value. It is more practical, more relative, and often expressed in numbers. Unlike value, which can be abstract, valuation is concrete and situational. Example in business. When a startup approaches investors, ask for the evaluation of the company, a figure based on present revenue, projected profits, market share, and brand potential. Example, in real estate, a plot of land may have a valuation of 1 crore today, but 10 years later, due to urban growth, its value may rise to 10 crores. Real life examples. Education, in education, value gives knowledge gained through education stays for life. Valuation, the salary package offered to a graduate in the job market is only way to value the degree. In company's example, value a company like Tata is respected for its ethics and long-term commitment. This is brand value. Valuation in stock markets, Tata companies are given a certain valuation in crores, which may rise or fall depending on performance. In broader perspective, in life, it is crucial to distinguish between value and valuation. Many times, society gives undue importance to valuation, that is numbers, money, material worth, and forgets the deeper value, ethics, principles, long-term contribution. For example, a social worker may not have a high monetary valuation, but his or her value to society is priceless. Similarly, we are also doing the same thing. In conclusion, to sum up, I would like to say value is the essence, the real worth are often intangible and eternal. Valuation is the measurement, the estimation of the worth in numbers, which may vary with context. In business, both matter. A company's valuation decides its market position, but its values decide its long-term survival and reputation. In life, too, chasing only valuation, money, status, material assets, without understanding real value, relationships, ethics, and knowledge leads to imbalance. Thus, a wise person respects both but gives priority to value because valuation will eventually follow where true value exists. Today, as Values Day, I would like to take a pledge to all the values of our IOV and IOVRVF. In my profession, I take deep pride. I owe solemn obligations. As valuer, I pledge to practice integrity and fair dealing, tolerance and respect, and uphold devotion to the standards and dignity of my profession. I will always be conscious that my skill carries with its obligations to serve humanity by making the best use of the knowledge and practice. Thank you very much. Please proceed with your meetings. Continue. Thank you. Thank you for the
Thank you,
opportunity
sir.
to share my
And
views with all the people. Thank you again.
thank you very much, sir. And again, wishing you a very birthday and with on behalf of all present here and not present, we wish a long journey with us, staying longer and blessing us and motivating us, which you have been doing like this only. We want you to continue your journey of life with IOV. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all the wishes from all the values of our country.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir,
Vinay.
for being with us today also and sharing your views with us. Now we are having members from our board of mentors, Yuva Forum and Nari Shakti with us on the panel. Also, we would like to request our delegates to submit their questions through the chat, and we can take up here with the respective faculties. And in the meanwhile, if any other faculty would like to answer any particular question or share your views, please do in the between. So we have with us Mr. Tavinder Pal Singh Arora. He is one of our members of the Board of Mentor Forum. Sir, we would like to seek your views on the impact of ESG valuation in future, sir.
Right. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Wishing Tyagarajan ji a very happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
And,
Thank you.
And remembering respected late PC Goel sir, because it is all given by him. This IOV and this platform, and so we are all together here. This small seed has grown to a big tree. Where the shadow is there for every valuer here in India. The fruits are there for everybody, and we all wish to contribute in the field of valuation. That is for the nation building. That we are seeing that we want to see Viksit Bharat 2047. And this economic sustainability we are talking about. R.K. Patel sir, Sunil sir, and Goel sir, Tyagarajan sir, they have given their views. They are very enlightening views for them. I would like to share some practical things which otherwise I'll repeat the things what they have said. So I would not like to repeat them. I would like to speak something on practical aspects.
So we also would like to know your views on the impact of ESG valuation in future.
Oh yes. So you see, if we are talking about ESG valuation, that will give you the real valuation in terms of the business valuation, so that you see the economic sustainability and governance. If we take care of the three things, we will definitely will be able to this environmental and sustainability and the governance parts. If we see the green credit, we are seeing that is coming from the environmental side, so that we have to be very careful about it. The sustainability has to be there, then only we can achieve the targets with 2047 Viksit Bharat. We are going to see governance, you see, will lead you to all the legal implications which we have to follow. Now, why this is, I'll talk more about it later, but then I'll say that any valuer who's doing valuation must get an appointment letter from the interested person with the scope of the work. As Sunil sir has rightly said, until you know what is to be done by you, how can you proceed ahead with the valuation? So you have to have a clear cut, in this appointment letter. For that, I'll give you two very small examples for what I have faced in the past. One of the plant, it was having 6,400 crores worth of value of the plant, and a banker wanted me to value it. The plant machinery side is 5,800 crore of rupees, and they said I will pay you 30,000 rupees including out of pocket expenses. I said 5 days I have to be there in the plant, and I have to do for the land and building as well as plant and machinery. Then drone survey is required. Hundreds of acres of land is there. I told them I'll need expert from the civil side. I'm not a man from the land and building side. So how can I do it in 25,000 plus 5,000 out of pocket expenses? So this is also a point which a valuer and our institution must look at it. What is the quantum of work? How can we justify the work if we do for a meager fee of 25,000 rupees, where 25 days are required to complete the work? Now, secondly, I have done a valuation of a steel plant, where that they are exporting the structural steel. The roles are there. The roles are there. The obsolete roles are there. They want me to value the roles as a fresh roles. So if that I add to them, it is not a justification by a valuer to be done in the field. So we have to be, what I mean to say is, we have to be very careful about the scope of work to be done and the work to be done, the work involved. You should be paid for it properly. Now here we talked about one thing more, that for the ESG impact of valuation, we are talking about the education of the youngsters, who come fresh for the valuation. But such youngsters will not have the practical experience of life for the valuation, so far as the valuation is concerned. So there has to be a combination of young entrepreneur valuers and the senior persons who are working. They should come forward to share their experiences, their reporting method. Then the education will be complete. Otherwise, the merely book education will not help them come forward. And now here I would like to say, if the valuation is done correctly by land and building, plant and machinery valuer, and the business valuation is done, then the investors will come and the company and the nation will be able to grow. Now here I would like to mention one thing more, that a valuer should not be influenced by the owner, his financial capability, his any other capability. He has to be unbiased, and a fair valuation should be given, keeping in view the IVS. And now we are being invited, all across the world to come for the valuation, because Indian strategy of following IVS is marvelous, is appreciable. So even when we come across the people from all over the world, they invite us. Yes, be prepared. We are inviting you for the evaluation across the border. So we should be able to know the financial statement study. We should learn a little, though we may not be from the MBA finance or CA or CS background, but we should know a little about it, so that we know that the really what they are showing in the balance sheet, it exists. So we should know about it. And secondly, we should always learn the NCLT, NCLAT, and Supreme Court judgments regarding valuers, so that we are aware of the legality of the valuation, and we don't do any injustice to our valuation and our code of conduct. So we have to follow the code of conduct also. These are very small points which are directly, uh, our contribution for the ESG field, for the valuation, for the Viksit Bharat 2047, which we are seeing. So here the valuation, if the environmental part is taken care of, will definitely add to the value. If the governance is there, like suppose a power plant is there and they are having the the system, so that the effluents are not going to the pollution control equipments are properly installed, they are working or not, and the legal implications, water, air pollution, they are taken care of or not, the legality of all other legalities we should see. So if we see the governance part, the sustainability part, and the environmental part, definitely the valuation will be a better outcome. I think this is there, and there are many more speakers who want to
Yes,
speak
sir.
here. I would like to thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Excellent practical guidance. Thank you, sir. Excellent practical guidance you have given to our valuers. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
So, sir, relating to ESG, I would like to ask Dr. Goel, sir, how can valuation of carbon credits and green assets be standardized to avoid subjectivity and greenwashing?
So this is like we are moving
Typical.
towards that's why I said that there's a turn of in the valuation itself, use of technology and all other things. But regarding the ESG, which is still taking shape, firstly we'll have to understand what is ESG and what is its role in any asset, how it can enhance the value of the asset, or how this not using the ESG factors deplete it. So carbon credit is basically uh, there are formulas which are in detail. It is being already we have undertaken one course on ESG, and we are still further going ahead with another course in terms of ESG. Understanding ESG is one part, and understanding the valuation related to ESG is the next part. And what the outcome is that the ESG can be one of the factors in one of the factors in valuing any asset for its consistency. So ESG can help valuers or valuations where to a certain extent the value becomes the value of any asset becomes sustainable, and consistency is there to produce by the valuers, and it's an additional factor. It's a very easily understandable that a particular asset, say for land and building, if it is complying with the environmental criterias, and then it is complying with the social criterions, and the governance containing the both the how the company or the how the asset owner, I would say, or asset person who is taking care of the both the environment as well as social concerns. The whole package is going towards the spatial factor, which is going to add to the value of the asset. So this we are coming up with the certain courses. We had concluded one particular batch in ESG, understanding ESG, but ultimately it is still under process. Indian government is already having certain laws or acts related to the use of ESG. So in SABI, I think there are 1,000 listed companies which have to comply with the ESG norms. And those are international based norms. And the government or the country has signed one pact with internationally, globally, to comply with all such and come to a level by 2030 or 2032, so that the compliance of a country as a whole in relation to the global practices is in place. But I am glad that I heard that we are heading towards such a situation that it may be possible by the end of 2028 that these compliances are completed, and then whosoever is valuing, I think he would need to know the ESG. So there, the institution is always at door service, and we are producing more courses in on those lines. So ESG impact is definitely going to have an impact on the valuation and our services as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We also have with us Mr. S. Pandian. We welcome you, sir. He is a eminent faculty of the valuation. Mr. S. Pandian, sir, you are there? Yes,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
So, sir, we would like to seek your views on how do we strike the right balance between market perception and valuation principles when determining the fair value of a property in a fluctuating market?
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat the question, ma'am?
Yes, sir. So how do we strike the right balance between market perception and valuation principles when determining the fair value of a property in a fluctuating market?
Morning to all. Thank you, Goyal sir, and my wishes to PKT sir for his happy birthday. In fact, I wished him also
Pandit.
today.
Thank you, Pandit.
And incidentally, actually, what has happened when asked about the ESG, I think I am the first person. I am doing a PhD in ESG. In fact, I am the student of IOV ESG first batch. And also I have completed the course in Reliance on ESG. And there is a government, actually, there is one portal is there, Swayam. In that, actually, I have completed my course on ESG also. These are all things are only for the fundamental to learn about the ESG. Of course, there are a lot of things are there in ESG to learn. And integrating into valuation, that is something very great. Okay, coming back to my question, the market perception is very important input, but not the sole principle in valuation. This is one thing we should keep in our mind. The valuation is guided by three fundamental approaches. Of course, we all know cost approach, market approach, and income approach. And as per IBS and IBBA valuation standard, the market approach indeed reflects how buyers and sellers perceive the value at a given point of time. But professional valuation must balance market sentiment with evidence analysis and principles on the economic reality. This is one of the most important things everyone should understand. The market perception often captures short-term demand and investor confidence and emotional trends. Of course, we have seen in our regular valuation work. For example, in a booming real estate or a stock market, the prices may rise beyond instant worth. But a valuer's role is to determine the fair value or a market value based on informed, rational, and willing participants, not speculative or transient perception. So therefore, the right valuation principle lies on using market perception as an indicator and validating it with the data. Data is one of the most important. If a valuer is having a lot of data, he is a wealth of data, he is having that. And income potential and cost parameters. Applying to professional judgment, which is very important for each and every valuer, to ensure that the derived value reflects the economic reliability and sustainability and prudence. So this is one of the most important things which I wanted to share it to you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. In continuing this, Sunil sir, I would like to check with you that Sunil sir.
I'm very much there. Just unmuting my
What
mic.
will be the demand for valuers in emerging areas such as REITs, InvITs, smart cities, and renewable energy projects?
So I think demand in REITs and InvITs is going to be there. However, this market is going to be captured by the very top firms, which unfortunately will be, a lot of them will be foreign firms. The big four and then the big 4 or 5 in the real estate space. So there is this whole need to upgrade valuation community that they can also become large companies. I have been saying this like a parrot for many years, but I think our regulator either doesn't understand it or doesn't want to understand it. And a lot of values also, I don't think so, have that kind of vision. So we continue to be ruled by IBBI with a very draconian clause, which says that everybody who is on the board of that company has to be a valuer and should be somebody who has to take an exam, and then that is the qualification. I think there is this fine print which was never intended to be, but then I think we have, we have been caught like a spider in its own web. So unfortunately, companies which are valuation entities will never become large enough because if you have an investor in that company and the investor does not have a board position or a significant control of what you do, then nobody will invest in companies and we will never become big companies. So while there will be a lot of valuation that will be available in REITs and InvITs, unfortunately, that's never going to come to valuers largely, even though they may have a valuation entity. On the smart cities, again, I don't think so. Smart cities have project valuation. So smart cities are doing what will be something like buses. So a lot of smart cities are buying buses. They are putting in technology to get the data on the city on a better side. Very few projects are being done, and those projects also are being consulted upon not by valuers, but again the big four firms, because they seem to have a monopoly on every consulting assignment in this country. And again, my point is that we don't even as a valuer qualify, because most of our turnovers are sub 5 crores or one. So I think there's a lot of opportunity that is there. However, these cream opportunities that you mentioned, smart cities, REITs, InBits, are not going to be reaching, the benefits of those are not going to reach to the valuer who's a individual practitioner or even has a significantly large firm. So that's my view, Sohail. You said third thing also with mergers and acquisitions, or something you said more?
Sir, I said REITs, InVITs, smart cities, and renewable energy projects.
Renewable energy projects, yes, that is where I think plant and machinery valuers will get a fair chance. Renewable energy in this country has already assumed a very gigantic proportion. A lot of solar projects, a lot of wind projects have already been installed. And I think that is where plant and machinery values already are doing a very good job. So, because that industry is a local industry, they will rely on local valuer, not necessarily, a lot of funding is coming, though funding is coming from, other sources as well. But I see a lot more valuation assignments with that kind of corporates than I see with smart cities and REITs and InvITs. REITs and InvITs, some valuers may get a valuation which is like a business valuation, but again, I think that market is completely captured by all these foreign firms. And I think a lot of valuers' hands are cut by IBBI by that regulation which asks every board member to be a qualified valuer. And, unfortunately, I find a lot of valuers don't realize, but when we talk to them, then valuers say to me, why do you need capital for growth? Why do you need capital? Because we have been used to working in a individual style shop. And that is something which surprises me, baffles me, that even people who own valuation entities, they have cobbled up some kind of a consortium, though they call themselves as valuation entities, but every partner has a different office. They sit at different locations. They may have just, put the name, which is the logo, and the format of report may look alike. But even sometimes the control is not there. So you ask for a partnership with, let's say, someone, and he will say, okay, my ex-partner sitting in Y city will give you a proposal. So they have not put together a company. They have cobbled up a consortium in the name of valuation entity. And because everybody is doing something, they feel that they can continue like this. So a lot of mindset has to change. I mean, you have to accept that you will sit as a minority partner at times in your own firm. And that is what you find. You want to build large organizations, then the founders of those organizations today don't sit with the majority equity. They sit with a minor equity. Look at any, unicorn. So we have to get into a corporate mindset to challenge these large firms and get a lion's share of business. I will not name individually, but yes, there is a firm in this country that has moved on from valuation and has, has entered financial services and is doing very well. And that is the model which he realized long back. And he said, Sunil, I understand that I do services business, but that's not the business that's a majority business now. I've got into financial services, and that is where I will move on, because that is where I can attract capital and can invite and have growth. So this is something that we all realize, that we want big meaty assignments, and we will have to make sure that our firms are big. We have to. I mean, I'll give you an example. I went to some international country to seek a foreign partnership, and the partner said, I want at least a fee of $100,000 every year. It's a lot of money for an individual valuer or a firm to pay. 1 crore rupees as fee. And then he wants you to invest another 5 crores in offices. So, yeah, that's my take.
Good, Sunil.
I would like to add to what Sunil ji has said. And after assessing, I'm saying certain things I would like to say that before the this company's rules in 2017, if everybody remembers, there was no role of entity in the valuation because under the section 34 AB, the mostly the valuers have registered. They were all individuals, and there was no check balances or there was no real time valuation entities. So IBBA introduced this entity thing, and but you are absolutely right, and we have been asking them that this should not be only the registered valuers. The directors of that entity should not be only registered valuers. They should move further. Maybe some sort of balances like any other company, like RVOs also, they have the presence of majority of independent directors and like that. So that we have been pressing upon maybe sometimes. And one thing I have come to understand is that now they are able to understand one very vital thing, which I would like to share with all, that it's the asset valuation in silos is not going to work much. So what is required is the valuation of assets, but with the synchronization or what you can this value, synergetic value of a particular complete asset, where land and building, plant and machinery, and financial assets should act in one umbrella. That means the enterprise value, I can say. So they have been able to understand that, but still it is some time that they will keep they will take the further on. And one thing is should be very clear, whatever the rules are, they are framed by Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and the IBBI is the implementing authority. So whatever and whatever the IBBA has to do is to within the framework of the company rules. People may think that I am advocating IBBA. No, sorry, I know the actual position why it is so. So I let it be very clear that this until unless the MCA make certain amendments, which we have been time and again pressing them. And we as an RVO IOV registered valuer foundation are hard pressing every time. And even sometimes I have to hear from the officials of IBBA that you only talk about the valuers. What about the system? So this is the state. We have to counter and we have to accept it. And we are going ahead. There's no doubt. And every other stakeholder is approaching this system because they feel confidence. The idea of regulation or anything is to create a confidence amongst the users of the professional services. If as IOV we have been in a system of self-regulatory system, we have imposed regulatory frameworks for us only, for our consumption, and we have been doing what little the IOV could do for regarding that. But with the stakeholders or with the government's regulatory framework, it gives a kind of credence which still is missing. I would say we are inching towards that, and that should be known to all that we are inching, and from ourselves only, from ours only, there was really I can say that there was stiff opposition to formation of any entities. There were a lot of many valuers who were not in favor of entities. And I remember the day when the first the modalities of the registration of first entity was apprehended or was thought of. There were other RVOs present there in that meeting, and they were not really in favor of moving towards that. So I don't feel shy of admitting that I was the one who stuck to my guns that, well, entities have to be there. And entities, what Sunilji you are saying is an answer for all such matters. This should be known to every valuer that you cannot be expert of, and today the whole system is like that. Nobody can work in silos. Nobody can work individually. It has to be a, synergetic this thing. So what is the role of institution? This is the role of the institution only, to synergize different expertise, different areas where the different kind of people meet each other, or we become catalyst to that. That is the idea of institution. And we provide, we to best of our knowledge or best of our efforts, we provide the education, training, or whatsoever is required. And that is required. Everybody knows. Nobody can be a perfect in each field. One can be perfect in one's this thing, but nobody can. Suppose I am a land building valuer, I am not supposed. I don't know the nuances of the plant and machinery in a power project. So Tavinder Palji's type plant and machinery valuers are required. So that is it. I think I made it the things, certain clarities, or what my mind, I spoke out of my mind. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So keeping the context of regulations and the authorities, we have with us Ms. Charu Agarwal, representing the female Nari Shakti in this panel. Ms. Charu, you are with us? Ms. Charu Agarwal?
Charu?
Okay, so yes, she is there.
She is there.
Yes, ma'am. So we would like to seek your views on this, like given the overlap of IBBI, SEBI, RBI,
Can I
Companies
add?
Act, how
Can
can
I
a unified, sir, yeah, just a second, sir. How can a unified regulatory approach be designed for valuation in India?
सुनील को आंसर दे दिया.
Charu, ma'am? Am I audible? You're on mute.
Charu,
Sorry,
you have
I am
to.
so sorry.
Ah,
I think
Charu?
something.
So have you heard the question?
No, I'm so sorry. Could you please repeat that?
Okay, so like continuing the discussions, I
Mhm.
would like to seek your views on the given the overlap of IBBI, SEBI, RBI, Companies Act, how can a
Mhm.
unified regulatory approach be designed for valuation in India?
How to design it, I think is up to the regulatory authorities. It's not something, I think IBBI, IOB has been trying to do it for a very long time with the valuers bill. But in my opinion, first, maybe we should try to figure out amongst ourselves what we want for valuation. I think what Sunil sir said, that how we are so fixated on the whole cost approach and not moving towards income approach, that needs to be figured out first. If we have to tell people that just by being a civil engineer, just by being an architect, you cannot be a valuer. A valuer is someone who understands aspects like economics, accountancy, finance as well. And I do not agree with the part that formal education is not present. There is masters in valuation in India for a very long time. But the matter is that people don't want to do it. People want the easy way, that you just do 4 years of your engineering and then take the route to valuation, because that has become so common. And unless it comes from senior valuers who probably communicated to the younger generation that maybe that was the thing back then when formal education wasn't an option, now there is an option. It has to be taken up by maybe IOV also to promote these courses. A framework is something that the regulatory authorities have to come up with. I don't find myself to be aware enough to probably give my point of view on it. But I do believe that as a young valuer, I've seen that not enough efforts are being done to make it a point that just being an engineer does not make you a good valuer. I think that's all I have to say.
I think uh, I think you have made your version very clear, and this what Sunilji has said in the beginning, he talked about that only. And as far as we are concerned, uh, there is a bachelor's course ready with us, but the takers we are finding still. We are on, we are trying to have this takers for that. And that is what we had talked in draft bill, where I was present in the committee of experts, that until unless this valuation profession has a proper subject and proper only the valuation only, not engineering, nothing doing, everything else you forget. So until and unless we come to that stage, maybe during now, once government or the others understand that we have to move now onto that stage, we have to wait and watch. That's all we can do. But in draft values bill, if you go through, all these matters have been discussed and they have been deliberated upon, and they form part of that the draft values bill.
Thank you, sir. So we have with us Mr. Patel, Dr. Patel. Patel, sir, would like to seek your views on like what all others are keep on asking, how to get work, because people are asking for the experience profile, though they are the freshers. Also keeping in context of the regulations subject to code of conduct under the company's rules. How can one valuer promote themselves and also can get the work, sir?
I think it's a very, very difficult question, and giving answer is much more difficult. Okay, how to get the work is I think it's a individual subject. Getting registration under Wealth Tax Act or getting registration under the Companies Act does not ensure that you will get the work. Okay. You have to market yourself. You have to project yourself that what you know, and it's a different kind of I think art, you can say. Valuation is art as well as getting the work is also an art. Now getting empanelment with the banks, because a lot of people have put in chat box that RVs under Companies Act should be given preference by the bankers and the financial institutions. And see, this is again, bankers have their own criteria of empaneling the valuers. Okay, since decades they have been using the 34AB registered valuers, and after 2017, RVs have come under Companies Act. Most of the RVs, they think that okay, they have got 50 hours training and passed the examination, so they should be given the preference. I think we should come out with that mentality first of all. Okay, not only 34AB. No, you cannot say that no 34AB registered valuers are less competent than Companies Act registered valuers. By experience, they have gained a lot of things. Okay, they might not have updated themselves with the registration in the Companies Act. It doesn't mean that they don't have the knowledge. Okay, so bankers have their own system of registering the valuers. But if you see the empanelment RFP they have issued, they have given first selection criteria is the IBBI registered valuers. And then second, they have put up 34AB. And as you know that banks needs large number of valuers, and we don't have enough registered valuers under the Companies Act. First of all, okay, bank need every day thousands of valuations, lakhs of valuations all over country. Okay, and that many valuers are not there. Okay, and then they have since long they have registered means empaneled valuers. They are comfortable with that, so they are using that. But what the criteria of RVs? Okay, RVs are, they have a lot of work in corporate world. I think with their competence and then their knowledge they have been given under the Companies Act, they can explore work under apart from bank. Of course, bank is there. Okay, but why they should be dependent on only on the banks? They are less remunerative, definitely, more laborious, and it needs day to day. Every day you may be getting 4 or 5 valuations, and then in the evening you are happy. Okay, you have got money, but whether you have gained the knowledge, whether you have put your knowledge in a proper shape, for that you have to concentrate on corporate world. Corporate world is a large consumer of valuers, and they need very typical. They have very typical issues. Okay, if they need the valuations not only under the Companies Act, they need valuations for import exports. They need valuations for mergers acquisitions. They need share valuation. They need the valuations of assets for I think not cash transactions. So all these are there. Impairment of assets. Okay, it's an annual feature under the Companies Act. Whether we valuers, registered valuers, have concentrated in that area, I think very few have. Very few have. And that is where I think Sunilji was saying that other valuers, outside valuers, are taking away the job. And in that case, if you see the corporate world, what my estimate says that 80% value of the work is being taken up by hardly 10% of the valuers in the country, in the corporate world. That is what is happening. And we 90% people are just struggling that, okay, with the bank. Okay, bank is the routine consumer. Okay, routine consumer. Let us take it as a retail business. Retail business. So this is where we have not concentrated. IOV RVF is pressing hard to go for specialized courses, and then a lot of people have gained the knowledge. Recently, we have organized the course on IBC specialized course. I think a lot of people have gained the knowledge of IBC, and along with that Companies Act, then how to handle the COC. Okay, because valuer has to present that is where your competence is. Whereas in banks, what happens? That, okay, you go to one particular bank manager and he accepts the reports. If he is comfortable with the value, he will sanction the loan. And when it comes to NPA, he will again come to you and say that, okay, give me this much value so that at least I can protect my customer. That is what is happening. Whereas in corporate world, that is not there. Okay, you have to put the less efforts, but you have to put a lot of knowledge and expertise therein. Okay, that is where we have to concentrate. That is what the intention of Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Corporate Affairs and IBBI to create the team of valuers in the country so that they compete with the international peers. So today what happens that 4 bigs are taking away the job, and a lot of our valuers are working as their subordinates. Just prepared, the report is prepared by 4 bigs, and then our valuers are just signing. They are getting the money for signing. I think, is it the job of RVs? No, not at all. They have to project themselves. They have to pretend themselves that they are very knowledgeable and they can compete with any big force. That is what. And if you do this, I think you have a lot of job internationally as well. Okay, and because where I have participated in the international bidding, there they said that one should be a RICS member. Then I argued, why you are looking for IRCS, whereas our IBPI is very competent to register the valuers, and then they qualified me. That is where I think we have to fight, and we have to look for other areas than only simply on the banks. Okay, bank letters we can keep it for our bread butter, but not for excellence. Okay, if we have to excel in our profession, we have to go for some other things. We have to know a lot of things. We have to learn a lot of international valuation international valuation standards. We have to learn a lot in Indian accounting standards. There are a number of Indian accounting standards. They are full of valuations, and mostly chartered accountants are coming to know that first that this is the valuation required, and they go to the valuer and say that, okay, can you do the sublet for me? I think this is what is happening. I think we have to pretend, and then we should develop our competence to convince the board of directors and the in absence of that, audit committees, because they are under Companies Act. Audit committee has to appoint the valuer, and board of directors in the absence of audit committee, board of directors. Audit committee is also, I think, subcommittee of the board of directors. So we have to develop our competence to convince the board of directors that, okay, this is the what valuation job we only can do. And then they don't have time. They will give you hardly 5 minutes and present yourself that, okay, whether you can do the valuation or not, whether we have developed this competence. I think this is where we have to work on that. So how to fight with COC, how to convince the board of directors that the particular assignment can be handled by you and competently. I think this is where we have to concentrate on that. Okay. Yeah. And of course, IOV and IOV-REF has been trying very hard to develop this competence of our own people. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Mr.
Thank you so much, sir. I think Tavinder Pal sir would like to say something.
Yes, sir. I'll take little, lenient way in this. Like, suppose we go for a wealth tax valuation registration. The first and primary thing is we have to have 10 years of experience, right? And they want another thing that you should have earned 50,000 rupees at least per annum for all 10 years. Then only they will give the wealth tax 34AB registration. It means we have to work with someone, some senior, to learn the things and get official fee of not less than 50,000 rupees to get the Wealth Tax Act certificate 34AB. Now when we come, and then the 10 years experience is required there. Now when we come to Companies Act 2017, then 3 years and 5 years, like for PG and the graduates is required. Now here the easy way to enter is private banks. Private banks, the land and building valuation, they have their own set of work of doing. You just enroll with them, and you will be a part. You will learn how to make the valuation. You will get fee from the banks also. And senior person like respected R.K. Patel sir and so many other people are there in India, Sunil Agrawal sir. We have to be associated with them, learn from them. And that is why I said few minutes back that the youngsters' energy and seniors' experience, if they join together, we can turn any stone around. You can say कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं होगा जो possible नहीं है. We can do everything and never be afraid of anything. This is a continuous process of learning. Now I am at the age of 70 years now approximately. I worked for 47 years. So my experience is different. I am ready to share anything with you. You can call me personally. You can talk to me. Whatever I can do, I will like, because if I die one day, my knowledge will remain with me and will be, burnt with my body. I don't want to do that. I'll share everything with you, whatever you want. Anytime you want, you ask me. I'm a plant machinery person, but I can give you some idea for land building also. And I am also insolvency professional. I have learned IBC. I know something about it. I'll share that knowledge also. So people are there in India who will share knowledge, who will part work with you. Like suppose I'm plant and machinery person. I get a land and building work in the nearby area. I give it to them, my friends. So they learn out of it. So this is how R.K. Patel sir, Sunil sir, myself and many senior people, we would like to share our knowledge with you so that you prosper like anything.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you
Sunil
very
would like to say something.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. I meet a lot of valuers who say, I will not do work at a low fee. I will not do this kind of work. I will not do this kind of work. And, especially senior valuers that I meet, they say, I have everything in life. I can't go and beg for job now in front of a bank. Now, this is a attitude which I don't think so is the right attitude. If you are a valuer and you have to get work, you have to do marketing. You know, Vinayji said that, how to get students. People are saying how to get work. So we are very poor as Indians in marketing. We feel very shy that if we have to sell something to somebody. And that disrespect for sales and marketing, I think, is also a mind shift that we have to make. Because uh, one senior CXO met me once and he said that I used to go in front of an office window and I used to wave at the senior manager sitting inside. For many months, I did that. One day he said, okay, why do you do this every afternoon? Come inside. So, this person was very capable, competent, and he rose to be the CEO of that same company. So, if we are a valuer and we have taken that training or profession and we have chosen that profession, then you must also choose to, market yourself well. So for seniors, people who have retired and they have come into valuation profession, I think I am very happy that Mr. Singh said that we are ready to help. They should not be shy of taking smaller assignments because you can't just do a big assignment day one. That's one. For the youngsters, you have to work with someone. You cannot, just think that I have taken a degree and I have little experience and some client will risk his valuation assignment with me. So, when people talk about, I don't know how to get work, I started doing valuation work in 2014. I did not start as a valuer 30 years ago. I was working with a company only. And then I gained some experience with that company. So after working for many years, in 2014, I decided to actually do a practice in valuation. So my valuation is only about 11 years old. So we went to clients and we said that, sir, we will do anything that you will give us. Even if it is a small assignment, I was ready to do. And I told my team that no work is small, no fee is small. If somebody is respecting you and is trusting you to write a report, then please do. So I think this kind of positivity is required in someone if you want to establish your business. And no business is built in a day or 2 or a 3 year period. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights that, people build a business. So if you have to build business, then you have to struggle. And that struggle period is something that you must take as a blessing. It's a boon in disguise. I now get calls from people to do work and they had rejected me 10 years ago or 15 years ago or 5 years ago. But I kept on. So I think if Vinayji permits, then Vinayji, you should have a course in marketing. How to market yourself, how to sell yourself. And badly, a lot of professions this country require. मेरी क्वालिफिकेशन हो गई है, मैंने अपने आगे एक डॉक्टर का प्लस लगा लिया मकान के आगे, लोग अपने आप आएंगे मेरे घर में. So markets are not like that. I was speaking to Mr. Adi Godrej, who was the champion. He is very well known. The Godrej Empire ka Malik hai, and his younger brother Nader Godrej also. I think elder brother Nader Godrej. And they said two things which have impressed me. One, they said, we made money by reverse engineering. We used to bring something in India and we used to reverse engineer it, make it in India and sell it. The market used to accept it. He says no longer that is because people now see the best product in the world and they can consume it. So if I don't do research and I don't do my hard work, people will forget Godrej. And that is how a very senior billionaire thinks that I cannot be doing the same thing. And he will have to invent and he'll have to do research and he will fail and he will again come back. And he told me the story of his continuous failure in Gujarat in Godrej Agrovet. And he said, one day we made a loss of 80 crores in 90s, which was a very big loss. But we kept on because he may have had the resources. But I think we all have to learn that we have to change, we have to grow, we have to give something to the profession before profession starts giving to you. And this arrogance of, I will not do this job below this fee, I will not do this kind of job. Who will go and ask a bank manager for a job or a client for a job? This is not the right attitude. I'll tell you a story where I was not a plant and machinery valuer. And I was given that assignment by a client. He said, no, because you do your work in land and building so diligently, I'll give you plant and machinery work also. Even if you don't do it, I will only give it to you. So I went to my friends in the fraternity and I said, sir, this assignment to मुझे मिल गया है, लेकिन वो मुझे ही देगा client, आप उसको please करिए.
Correct.
So I think this is something which, if somebody has got the assignment, he has got the trust of the client, and therefore, even if you do a if you get a sublet work from someone, then also you should take it with folded hands. You should respect the work that you are in. If you don't respect the work that you are in, then I think that is a big problem. So we must respect. If we have chosen this profession, we have to respect this. If we choose to do something else, very good. But if you're a valuer, then don't crib on the fee you get. Don't crib on the kind of work you get. Just do your work. And one day, believe you me, you keep doing it for 3, 4, 5 years like this, the work will happen to you. But if you don't want to struggle in this 3, 4 period, so badi mushkil hai. Then you will never achieve anything. I used to struggle in 2014. I used to get, very small work. Almost in 2018. For 4, 5 years, our firm was not, they were known for good work, but we never used to get work. So that period of struggle, even I have faced with.
Can I come in?
Sure, please.
Sir, can you answer me one question? Which is the profession where you don't have to go and ask for the work,
No profession.
and you get the work sitting at home?
No
Which is that profession?
No
Tell me one profession.
Anything you have to bear.
Yeah.
Anything.
Whether I'm an architect, I know how I have come up or what I have done. So what Sunilji is saying about valuation, it is true for any profession.
Any profession, not
That-
only for valuation, anything.
Somebody has to fight for his.
I have seen, sir, only in valuation profession, when people qualify IBVA exam, they think that getting work is their birthright. Or if I have a valuation, that's
That
the
is nowhere.
birthright.
That is nowhere.
And
That is
people say,
nowhere.
why am I paying IBBI fees every year? Because, if I don't get work, why should I pay the fee? This is something that I hear very often. Sorry,
Sir,
they
this we often listen, we
this
have
is not right attitude. If you have qualified something, it doesn't mean you will get a job. Hundreds and thousands
yeah.
of graduates qualify of IT engineering. Today, IT engineer is not in big demand. You will have a lot of. So
I tell you, sir, I share one information. What we have been advocating, very well, to different organizations, all bankers or financial institutions. We are only advocating about valuation. So what we found to our real surprise, what Patel Saab was saying, to add a ship valuation.
Correct.
There is no Indian valuer in that. Whosoever is working under any company of England or USA or whatsoever. There is no single valuer there which is impaneled for years now. And now the government is going ahead with this shipping projects. You know very well that they have really entered into so lot of work in that particular area. And what about the import and export taxation? We are not trying to enter into that, and we have been running those courses. We are about to start our marine valuation course. We are going to start our very soon the insurance valuation. Where is the valuation in insurance? It's only surveying. Does it suffice? No, it doesn't suffice. The valuation has to be present in that. But as you said, we want our cake, but only cake. That's all. Don't want to prepare the cake, or we don't want to even share the cake.
Yeah, we are getting such queries in the chat also, that why should we comply the annual compliances? Why should we attend the CEPs if we are not getting the work?
Sir, no, firstly, nobody is forcing anybody to complying or attending CEPs. But if some person have come to who has asked if he has come to attend this CEP or say this particular program, I think he would be having some added value. That is what we have been trying. We have that's not our business like CP we are imparting for the sake of business. It is for the it's an institution's obligation towards its members, and the members have an obligation towards the institution that they attend such programs, share their thoughts, and that is what we, through today's program we have tried, included so many people in our panels for an interactive session, and we are able to know those questions also. And it's a very good query that why should people one attend. That is how this the whole profession, any profession even, if you are an engineer, if you don't use the STAD, or you have been doing manual, you have come to use the STAD, you have come to use the CAD, all these things, why we are using, or why we go and attend the seminars on what the best structure is possible, or what is the concrete, or how the concrete, soft concretes, what are the different concretes. How can one know without attending any webinars, or without reading? We have been publishing Indian Value for years, and there are so good articles. We are being appreciated throughout. We are the only organization, and we are the only organizations who are doing so many CPs for the sake of that purpose only. That people come to know what is the expertise means. And I think everybody must be listening to such stalwarts like Patel Saab and Sunil Agarwal ji and Tyagaraja ji and others, of course. So something they must be learning. I believe that. So that's what the role is. Thank you.
Vinay ji, I just want to add one thing.
Please.
Permission that we are not a placement agency, and we are not an agency that is there to give work to people. You go to a university for education and you learn and you become qualified.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
the world has become, they treat, the mindset is that some parents, and I used to be the dean of the real estate school, people used to say, once he attends your course, will he get a job? So we said, we'll prepare him for a job. That's our effort, to make all the efforts to give him the skills to get a job. But we cannot be a placement agency. So like that, you are, as IOV, we will give knowledge, we will impart knowledge, we'll equip valuers to become more knowledgeable. लेकिन धंधा ढूंढना तो, and we have made efforts. I see ads that this is the tender which is out, please apply for this tender, and so forth. So we can do so much. We can do advocacy, we can go to various
advocacy. I just interrupting you, that we have been in all tenders, we are studying, sir. We are studying all tenders, and you are knowing very well, and we are getting some huge corrections in the tenders because people don't understand valuation.
Absolutely.
So we have made tenders corrected, sir, modified. They have modified as per our suggestions. There are several examples.
Because sometimes clients ask that your firm should be a 34 AB and a registered valuer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Letters and you have spoken to them. And these are two different things.
Yes.
Firms are 34 AB valuers. So,
sir, yes.
That clarification is there. Lot many clients don't do that.
Sir, I tell you one example. There was a tender where they have asked to value the plant and machinery, and they have asked the land and building values. So we went there. I personally went there to DDA. It was DDA tender. I went there and told them what you are doing. This is not the job of this land and building values. That is what you require. So they didn't know. So they modified the entire tender again, reissued. So and several places, sir, several places. So this is what is the role of institutions, sir. You are very well said that we are not a placement agency, definitely, but we are institution, and we are advocating this profession. That's why we are talking about valuation only today. That's thank you.
Thank you all. So we have with us Mr. Devesh Jain, who is leading the Yuva Valuers Forum for IOV. So, sir, like continuing all the discussions, would like to seek your views on the next hot topic, that is AI. So, will AI reduce the valuation opportunities, or will it open new domains for the professionals skilled in analysis, ethics, or interpretation?
Okay, so good afternoon to everyone. Hello, Vinay sir. Hello, Tyagarajan sir. Many happy returns of the day to you.
Thank you, thank you. Go ahead, go ahead.
Lots of good insights from Sunil sir and all the eminent members. So my views on this would be AI is a very helpful tool to all of us today. It may help us enhance our work, but it cannot replace us. See, at the end, valuation is an expert thing. Okay, it cannot be replaced by what AI can. What we can do, AI cannot do that. So at the end, that human touch that is there in our work will never be can never be eradicated. AI can never replace. It can just help us save our time. It can help us improve our work. It can help us improve the quality of work that we do. It can help us improve our accuracy also, but it cannot replace us as experts. So yeah, we can take the help of technology to get upgraded. But at the end, it is our brains, it is our expertise, it is our knowledge that will help us flourish in a profession like valuation. So this is what I have to say with respect to AI technology and our profession.
So, Devesh, I would like to add to your this thing.
Yes.
Let me give two
Yes.
very glaring examples regarding this. When a pilot is, is in the sky, is the plane, it is on auto mode. I think everybody would be
Absolutely.
knowing. But while landing or
Landing
while
and
taking off, he takes control of the plane.
plane.
Fine.
Absolutely.
Fine.
Right, right.
Otherwise, it can be run on auto mode. It can land or in auto mode. But that is a human brain, and that is a consequential. You see, consequent to the situations and all that. One
Correct.
thing is, it's a very glaring example of using the tool. The AI is a tool.
Absolutely. It's a tool.
I should be able to know that how I can use the AI. AI can help you reducing your labor and time taken to do certain exercises. But
Absolutely.
you have absolutely right, and I am 100% of this view that AI cannot replace any function. Like another example is the operation surgeries being done by robots. So, but those robots are monitored and continuously by an expert doctor. It is not कि you leave it to robot, he does the surgery and you are sleeping. Cannot be.
No, it cannot be done.
Cannot be. Because you have to monitor because that human angle or that particular intelligence, this is artificial intelligence. But the natural intelligence, what the human brain has, which is very much underutilized. I can say that very much underutilized. So that particular thing you have to take care. So that is how all these tools we have to understand that we have to take the help of the tools. If we are using computers and internet and all that for this webinar, we are using tools, but can they overpower us? They can
Never.
overpower our expressions, our intellect. How can they overpower?
Vinay,
So that is all.
Vinay, if you go to
Yeah.
the September Value Journal, I have written
Yes.
few lines on AI only. If you, in the
Yeah.
concluding remark I made it, artificial intelligence is not a substitute for human intelligence. It's a tool to amplify human creativity and ingenuity. That's what I concluded. Therefore, it is there, but whatever we do, it only adds to us. That's what I mentioned. If you go through the my present desk in the September journal. It's very clear. I made this one
Yes.
only for the youngsters like our friend.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
So AI cannot do what the brain can.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It
That's what I mentioned in the journal. Okay, go ahead. We want youngsters like you to promote these things also to other juniors.
absolutely,
Hmm?
absolutely.
Thank you, thank you. Good work.
Thank you so much.
Are the useful to What are the useful tools in valuation in future?
Is
Wait,
this
sir, am I audible?
which is this question to me, Sohail?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I think I missed this part. So useful tools in valuation are very similar to what everybody uses these days. So I think Google Maps is something that everybody uses. You must know how to use them, how to do measurements. If you have done drone surveys, then you should know how to interpret drone surveys, or at least use them in some of the surveys where land access is difficult, or you will get a better idea. So I think the other thing that we must use is we should understand how Excel works. So Excel modeling is something that I will encourage every valuer to undergo a course in Excel modeling or financial modeling. This is a tool which is very, very healthy. I may not want to say that GIS is what everybody should know, but if a valuer has youngsters in the office who understand GIS and can do geographical information system mapping of their data, I think that is something which is excellent, and it kind of equips people to appreciate the knowledge that they have acquired better as to what is happening around what you're doing. Again, I think I find that a lot of valuers are using AI, and it is not only about using AI to write reports. We must use AI to be able to mine the data.
Yes.
So I think mining of data, don't use AI like Google. I think a lot of people, including myself at times, who never understood AI, we got to ChatGPT and used to ask questions to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT used to give us some kind of an answer.
Some inputs.
So we use it like Google, but I think AI is much more than this. I see my secretary, who's actually much more younger than me. She had a horrible English, and I used to struggle with her because she could not write proper mails at times, and I used to find it embarrassing. Then I asked her to do this small training in AI, and now she writes more beautiful emails than I can write, because I can tell her to do that. I think it's not about saying that you're replacing human intelligence, but today I think she has learned very hard way, and she will have 2 or 3 drafts of email, and now she decides which is the best mail to shoot. So I think AI, in terms of even making your reports better, you should use. And if you have mastered the art of Excel, then you will have ability to put all the data in a model which is a predetermined model. So you just put the basic inputs in that model, and it'll throw up a result very easily. So what we have done in many such valuations where construction finance is required, or a calculation is required to be done in a certain manner, we just put the inputs. Let's say it is a income producing property. The Excel, we have, with some effort, made an Excel model in our firm. And then by putting in the various clients, their rent roll, and when their leases are expiring, etc., which can be done by a very much junior resource who can just read and put this, and the answers come out very, very quickly. So I think these tools are there, and the most important tool that I think all valuers must learn is to market, to be able to, market themselves And one more thing which at times I find is that valuers do not carry themselves properly. They don't dress up. They do not have the kind of finesse at times. Some valuers do, 40%, 30%. But most of the valuers, when they go for a presentation to any client, then you must have, it is not necessary that you wear a tie and a suit all the time, but whatever you're wearing, wear it properly, shave yourself, have some kind of a decorum to respect the client. So don't become somebody who has to go for a job and therefore. So I think the grooming skills, the interpersonal skills, the skills of marketing are equally important. While all the technical skills I have mentioned are great, that everybody should learn, but your interpersonal skills, your people skills, your ability to communicate well, your ability to write well, your ability to present yourself well, will go a long way in, getting you the job that you want. And even when you are, putting your documents together, I see valuers, or not only valuers, but in a lot of professions, when the papers come, they are not in a manner which are very good. So you should have, the documentation should be excellent. Your report, when it goes to the client, it should be in a format that the client loves the format. It cannot be in a format which is, at times I say 34 AB valuation. Some clients insist that it is a form you have to fill. And so you fill a form and give it to that person. That is not a report. You can fill the form, put it as an annexure, but your report should be for those 4 or 5 crisp pages, which you have to write to tell your client that this is the way in which you have arrived at this decision. If you are just putting a form and you're putting a signature and you're giving that as a report, I find very difficult to accept that in this age, people are just using a form. So you cannot, this is not a form filling exercise. I see a lot of people use 34 AB format to do any kind of valuation. Any valuation they will, and they say 34 AB is such a great format that it follows all bylaws, this, that, which is fine. But people who is reading a report is not a qualified valuer. So have some mercy on him. So I think these are kind of skills which are required in almost any profession now to navigate this world. I was talking to, my daughter and her friends yesterday, and there was just general discussion. And a lot of them have taken digital marketing, they have taken Excel modeling, they have taken a course in AI, and almost every kid has now realized that these are basic fundamentals of education. Because if you're not financially literate, you don't know how to market yourself, and you don't know AI, then I think soon AI will not replace human beings, but human beings
But it's required.
ability will replace other human beings who do not have AI. So AI definitely will not replace human beings, but people who know AI will replace people who don't know AI. That is going to happen very soon. So this is what I have to say.
Thank you so much, sir. So before concluding the session today, let's Devesh sir, one more question. Like,
Yes,
how can
sir.
India align more closely with the global standards while addressing local market realities?
Okay. So, how do I answer this now?
I think Devesh, this you can say that this can be a particular topic to discuss about it on for 2 hours.
Yes, sir. This is a totally different thing that we are discussing, that we've been discussing now.
I just want to say something on this. Goel Saab was very kind that he allowed me to go to the IBSC board meeting. And I learned in that board meeting, and I think I have said this in other forums also, that you should say that India is very, very advanced in terms of its standards and its practices. A country like France, every country in Europe is far behind than what you can even imagine. Also, let me say one thing. I don't want to, and this is not a IVSC or a RICS or a standard, criticism that I want to do. But if you look at US PAP, you look at any European standard, you look at any standard of any country, and you look at your own problems that you have in this country or challenges that you have, I think Indian values are much more organized. And it's time that we set things and the world has to learn from it. Because in the world, where in the world you have so many typologies of properties. You have the slums, you have the khasra property, you have a planned property, you have a floor, you have so many varieties. Those varieties don't exist in a lot of those countries that we talk about, that we have to follow them and how can we align with them. I don't think so. We need to align with anybody. We need to have our own alignment of our mind right. And I'm very happy that Patel Sahab wrote to that international tender that he participated, that why an international name? Our systems are, good and they should be protected. So I think it's time that we took pride like Modi ji does. He says, the India ka samay hai. If I need oil from Russia, I'll buy from anybody. You can go to hell. So this is how we should be. It's time, and I'm telling you, Devesh, and I'm telling you, everyone, that we are far more evolved. It's just that we need to realize that we are more evolved. And we can give solutions to the world rather than world telling us what to do. It's time that world has to listen to us. I'm very, very clear on this. And I've seen people, they don't have anything. What they have, however, is that they've documented very well what they know, which is where we lack. So that's what we should be.
That's absolutely what I wanted to say.
डॉक्यूमेंट
Yes, they have documented.
जो है उसको उसके डॉक्यूमेंटेशन से अच्छा कर सकते हैं. अभी तो चैट जीपीटी है, एआई है, उससे अच्छा डॉक्यूमेंटेशन आएगा.
Sunil, and we are going ahead. You know very well that we have our valuation standard advisory board, and we are working. We may be slower, but at least we are going in on those lines only, on those directions. And like I tell you, give you one example, very, very glaring example in front of all of us. IBBI, as per IBC code, what do you regard as a fair valuation? Fine. Where is the definition of fair valuation in IVS? Can anybody tell me?
No.
No definition of fair value.
No.
Even the definition of liquidation value is absolutely different from what is as per the standards. I recently in a meeting I mentioned to IBBI that there is no this thing. Either you ask IVS to create fair value, definition of fair value, or otherwise you are totally mismatched. Na? You are absolutely mismatched. You are no way in synchronization with that. So there are and we are evolving, sir. We are evolving with our own experiences. And last year when I went to Hong Kong with Dr. R.K. Patel, in that same board meeting, I mentioned and I requested them that you people are changing the entire structure of standards after every 2 years. The moment we come to understand, you change the entire structure. Please stop doing this and make only modifications. I have requested them. Patel Sahab knows very well that I said that you have to put some brakes on that. Otherwise, you keep on changing the entire structure. You see 21 this thing standards, and then you see the 24 valuation standards. The entire structure they have changed. So, and sir, I would.
They have nothing more to do but to package the same wine and
anyway, we are not here to criticize.
We have to have a certain. This is a problem that you worded so many times differently. Even IBSC members internationally have said this, that please do it in 5 years at least, not less than 5 years. But anyway, yeah.
Anyway, sir, we have a very distinct personality with us, Mr. Krishna Murli from Bangalore. He's a veteran and he has abundant knowledge with him. So can we invite Mr. Murli to join this discussion? He's in the panel. Budley, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy that very interesting
Namaskar.
topics are being discussed.
Namaskar, sir.
Uh,
Budley, sir.
I had the privilege of doing the valuations of very big names like Britannia, when its
Sir,
total assets pan India were around 500 crores, and continuously for 7 years I did the
हमारे
valuation.
यहाँ से
Today they are 3,000 crore plus. I'm a valuer, plant and machinery valuer, but what I'm mentioning is for the valuation of the insurance properties. So insurance property will consist of the plant and machinery, the building, and also the land, which may not be insured, but that land value will also be there in their FAR. So to come to the discussion point, see, my very strong feeling is, and also the next is we'll discuss about that um, uh, connections regarding the um, not Tyco. We will come to that electronics part and other things later on. We will first handle this plant and machinery, which is my subject. See, to begin with, as most of you have already indicated in talk, see, I wanted being a risk engineer or risk management consultant for general insurance, I wanted a very clear letter from the client.
Good.
I wanted to first I educated them what is insurance valuation and what is the replacement value or the market value and things like that. And then because one of the insurers wanted my services and they can't pay me for the risk consultancy to the insurance company, so they appoint through the client and they said that we will pay you this fees. So my two negotiations, very tough negotiations, were regarding the fees. Number one, number two, commensurable activity on valuation, which I am supposed to do. So my report was also based on these two things. So the first thing I told them is, I am not the person to value all these properties at the at the fees you are trying to suggest to me, because actual valuation of the entire property for insurance needs a lot of exercise, number one. Number two, a lot of time, because most of the equipments are obsolete, and for replacement cost, either we have to get the quotation which will maybe obsolete. If it is obsolete, then we have to take the RBI indices for valuation and things like that. So anyway, what I told them is, it is a joint activity we are doing. I will certify for the valuation based on some things. I said 1, 2, 3, 4. Number one, you are having the accounts, and you are having the organization, and you are having the that is the FAR register. That is the basis on which we started. I said you also, supposing I say this is the value for the plant and machinery, or this is the value for the building plant and machinery building, you have also the information, and we have to share each other, and we have to come to an agreement, because finally at the time of claim, a valuer who is an independent surveyor will come and revalue, and he will compare whether the value declared by you is adequate enough to pay the claim. On that basis, I will be certifying the value. So it was agreed, and I released. It started. A lot of big. First exercise was very tough and big, and I accepted because the smaller fees, because it is a challenging job. Number one, number two, I am making the insured also a party to the calculations. I am making part of it, if not full, and then I will be certifying. So it went very well, and the same methodology was adopted to Cisco for their scrap valuation or for their plant termination, that is equipment valuations and things like that. Whenever there was a sale of their property and things like that. Which is a pan India. So these two are the specialized valuations I have done, and it is only thing I want to caution all with the valuers is we should not be either very enthusiastic to certify to their valuation, or we should not be that strict to say this is the only valuation, because finally it is the value is a subject of it is a subjective assessment. Even the same data given to me today, the evaluation may change for the same date. And one more information I want to share, very, very important information is the valuer should never be enthusiastic to say that this value will be so and so much for the next year renewal. Hello? Uh, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Very
go
much.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
We're all hearing you intently.
Yeah, yeah. See, in fact, the Cisco people circulated my letter among their all their branches, telling that valuation cannot be done for the future date, because valuation can be done for the either
Present
today
as
or
on
the
date.
day earlier. Because they had asked me to value, so supposing it is where renewal is coming in April 2026, and can you give the valuation? I said no, because the valuation as it is such a complex thing, and you cannot predict. If the valuer starts predicting and giving them, then even the share market may vary. So I told them my job is to give you the subjectively the value of on that date, based on the indices, based on the available information, and based on my experience. Regarding the plant and machinery, especially the depreciation may not be as per the depreciation of the either the scale of chartered accountants or the tax authorities or whatever it is. I may have a different. For example, now I told them Cisco. I told them, supposing the computer is purchased in say last 1 or 2 years back, and today, as per your scale, it may be 5% or 10% per year. But I may apply double or three times that, depending on the market and the technological improvements. So that is subjective. And so this is where our expertise, this is where AI will not come to our calculations. AI will definitely help us in mathematical calculations and the projections, but not in these special aspects like, say, the usage of the machineries, the place of the this it's finally the price is the place and the utility. So these two things are by experience only, and it will vary not only from person to person. It may vary with the same person if it is asked with the same details after some time, because as we the time passes, our way of looking at things, the perception, the way of calculating, the way of the even the international way of see valuation is a very, very subjective. We will try to make it as practical as possible or objective as possible commercially. Even in insurance, the claims finally will be settled on commercial basis. If there is a lot of dispute in the technicalities and the arguments, see, even that's why there is a camouflaging of these things for the under the name of the ex gratia. Ex gratia means as a grace I'll pay you, not as a commitment or as a contract. So this is what I wanted to share basically, and we can go deeper into each subject as we go, because now the thanks to the cyber risks,
Thanks.
thanks to the information technology, thanks to misinformation, mis-selling. See, selling is one thing, mis-selling is another thing, and there is a very very thin hairline difference between convincing and confusing. So, if you are confusing, you are cheating. If you are convincing, you are clarifying. So we should be little clear in this, apart from legality, apart from other things, it has to be more of a rather empathetic and practical way of dealing, because it's such a thin hairline difference that because I'm talking as a senior most rather valuer. The age also counts, and the values also. I'm talking with the human values. The human values will interfere into the material values. So anyway, it goes on changing as the generation changes, and we have to adopt. And we have to be doubly careful when we are certifying. And we have to be very clear and write in our report that this valuation is for this purpose. We should not be misused for any other purpose. Like our Aadhaar card or whatever we use now, we have to say what for the Aadhaar card is given. Even though self attestation is there, you have to be a little more careful and clear, because
Right.
cheating is more nowadays. And I have a feeling, I don't know whether I am right, and I wish I am wrong. The more the technology, the more cheating and easier cheating, because technology and intelligence is misused rather than used for the benefit of the common man. Anyway, if not a philosophical touch, but you have to be a little careful, because yeah, your entire human values may get washed off within one stroke of a pen, or one reverse view of a next generation.
So, Sir Burli Sahab, thank you very much. You have, such a treasure with you, your experience and your expertise, that I don't think 15 minutes or 20 minutes are
Yeah,
sufficient enough to listen to you and to share with us. I think we'll
yeah.
plan something with you next time,
It is
and
my pleasure,
have
because
more of you, because we would like to have you share your expertise and experiences with
yeah,
our youngsters, especially, as that is why you are one of the prominent members of our board of mentors. So,
uh,
so thank you very much, sir, for your insights, and
it's my pleasure.
Thank
It's my pleasure to share.
thank you
And
very much.
in the process, I see the. I'm just thinking loudly. If we can do something about the international broad agreement on valuation. See, finally, value is for what? See, I have a say house, or I have something, and I want to sell. I do not want to be cheated. As simple as that.
Yeah,
So, in this the
definitely.
erratic tariffs and things like that.
Mm.
If I say the my if the that's why the fair, the word came in the discussion, the fair
Uh,
value.
sure,
Fair
sure,
value,
sir.
something like fair value. See, it reminds me of that dialogue of Amitabh Bachchan in that Diwar. He says, "You are not a good businessman because for 10 lakhs you agreed." Then this man says, "You are not a good businessman. Even if you had asked me 20, I would have agreed. I would have
you.
paid."
Even you.
It is, it is actually the fairness is between the seller and the buyer. See, but as a valuer, we must try to balance that and tell the community that even though there is a seller and buyer, and the sentimental values are involved, Sentiment
yeah,
cannot be skyrocketing.
okay.
See,
Sir,
to that extent we can, through that
Yes.
extent we can control, or we can, but locally we have to do that. So to come to the international things, because yeah, we can come to international things
please,
after.
sir, please excuse me, but there's Mr. Saurabh, uh, Mr. Saurabh Deshmukh ji is, asking. He is in the panel, so he wants to share a few views. So I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you and stop
No,
you.
no, no, no. You have given me enough time, and you have
Let us
the
know.
forum. I,
We can hear because he would like to share his views also. Mr.
yes, sir.
Saurabh, can you come in, Mr. Saurabh, and share your views with us, like all other panelists have already shared. But yes, Mr. Saurabh, Mrs. He's there, no? Mr. Saurabh Deshmukh, please. I think. Huh? I think he may have gone. So
Orlanchi.
now people are moving out. So I think we have overshot our schedule time. But I think still people are enjoying, and no, people are right. People are saying that this has been a wonderful session, and we should go on repeating such kind of interactive sessions. So we'll plan more on these lines in future. Very soon we'll be taking up. We'll schedule it, and how we proceed we'll see. So I think now we can call it a day, and thank
Actually,
you very much all the
actually,
panelists who have joined
yeah.
and shared their views and sat here, waiting for their lunches to be
Actually, we
served.
accept only one chat in the question answer. So let us attend that, and then I think then after you can call it
Okay,
again.
okay. There's so
You see the question answers, yeah.
Sir, so sir, they are asking like, what is the status of valuation bill?
so for that matter, to valuation bill, I think it is still under consideration of the Ministry of Finance. Beyond that, we cannot say right now. But one thing the government has moved to is rule number 514 in the recently this income tax bill. So that's a good sign that at least now they are moving towards that. It may take some time. But my belief is that it is going to happen. When and how, nobody can predict. It is a fair answer to that question. What is the other question?
So the next question is empanelment authorities are seeking tons of papers despite the consideration of their IBBI membership. So what the efforts can be done to reduce the repetitive paperwork? They can simply take the IBBI membership details rather than keep on asking the qualification and other details.
So we are of the view, and we have been writing to the banks, that in case of IBBI registered valuers, you are absolutely right that they don't require. But the thing is, bankers have their own systems, their own policies, and they have to follow those policies. As far as the IBBI registered valuers, at least we should be thankful that they have started using the services of IBBI registered valuers, which they were not doing previously. But of course, we have been continuously writing to them that, well, as far as the IBBI registered values. But one thing you should also understand, that as far as the experience is concerned, the IBBA registered valuers are not automatically experienced in the field of valuation. That is why our seniors have already said that the young valuers, or not only young, but the people who have just entered the valuation field, they should work under some valuers for gaining that your, I think, queries answer, I can say. What is the next?
Another is relating to real estate, and the panelists may also answer this question. Valuation of real estate by rental method in India can be flawed as the owners may rent property at lower rate. As land gives value gives hidden income. Component of land appreciation is not inclusive in present rent capitalizing method.
So that's a matter of debate. So we cannot conclude on just this with this answer. This is debatable. Definitely, you are not wrong, but we all know what are the hidden costs and what are the hidden uh, things that underlines, I would say, in real estate valuation. Uh, but that's a matter of debate how we can counter that particular challenge.
I
That's
think
challenge.
this is
That's
a
the
good
challenge.
question actually.
Yes.
This is good question. Okay, because recently what has happened that instead of buying the property, people are thinking of taking it on rent. Okay, mostly that is happening in the corporate world. So instead of owning the property, they think of taking on rent. Even that happens in the plant and machinery also, because a lot of plant and machineries are idle, so they are put in reuse by some other people taking on rent, because these plant and machineries are already having some approvals of the statutory approvals from the government, so they use the existing plant, so they have rental valuation in real estate also. And if you are talking about the REITs, real estate investment trust, there also rental method is very important. So I think we should concentrate much on rental valuation, and that calls for making the financial model as well. Okay, of course it's a real estate valuation, but it calls for income approach, and then and what he says that a present rent capitalization method. Okay, that component of land appreciation. Yes, if you are making the financial model, you can incorporate this land appreciation component as well, and you can give the rental valuations for. I think rental agreements are made for 9 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and sometimes it is 99 years. Okay, I think you can inbuild the land appreciation component and then fix the rental appreciations accordingly. Okay, I think this is very subjective, very deep subject. One has to only simply reading the books, I think it will not show you the financial models, because capitalization rate, defining capitalization rate is itself is a science. Okay, so I think it's a good question.
And this is what I said. Ki this is debatable,
Yes,
and the particular learning process is
yes,
required. That
yes,
this
yes.
this cannot be answered in 2 lines or three
That's
lines.
true. That's true.
It requires a complete chapter on that. And we have
It's
been we have been doing CEPs on that.
yes, yes, yes,
Everybody knows
yes,
that
yes.
to understand that particular aspect. So a question is definitely good, but
Yeah.
that has to be that.
Parallel economy component is main hurdle as sale instances on record are not genuine due to parallel economy.
So that is an obstacle. Everybody knows, and I think by using what Sir has said, rental, capitalization and all that, and using
Yes,
income approach or
yes,
market
yes.
approach. But
So
market approach is deceptive, so income
yes,
approach can
income
be
approach will
complete.
tell you how to incorporate parallel economy. Yeah.
Yes, because even cost of land, and that is the major
I
factor.
think
Major factor.
I give you a very simple example today in what happened that in September you must all or you all of must be knowing that the gold price, okay, gold price
Yeah,
had gone from 1,05,000 per 10 gram to 1,20,000. Okay,
yeah, 20,000
that is
plus.
in the
Yeah.
whole September. I think 1st September to 30th
Yes,
September this has been the
yes,
scenario. Okay,
yes.
now see, and some of you or from the participants also might have gone to purchase gold. Okay.
Hmm.
So if you purchase in the real market in the sense the with the bills, okay, that includes 3% GST.
Hmm.
So with bill, suppose the value is 1,20,000 and 3%. So it comes to I think 1,23,600. Okay.
Hmm.
So they will give you the bill of 1,23,600 for 10 gram. Okay. But if you go, say that I don't want bill and I'm going to pay you in the
Cash.
cash money, okay? And I don't want bill, and they will say that they will charge 1,25,000 rupees. I think
Yeah.
market has been reversed. Earlier, what it used to before September 1st,
Yes,
it was that okay, they will give you the discount of the GST. Instead
yes,
of that, they are charging premium now. That is what the parallel economy is. Okay,
yes, yes.
and that is exactly happening in the real estate. If money is not going to gold market, then it definitely goes to real estate. Okay.
Fine, sir. I think,
Yeah.
Session is,
yeah.
what is the call of the panelists on the internal valuations being done by banks and the NBFCs? They are hiring the internal team and doing the valuations. What is your say on this?
My view is that banks are, they have their own systems and they have been doing, and they have, uh, as regards to their policies, they're right in their own ways because they would like to assess that what is, what is the worth of a property. So, having independent valuers outside their domain, the banks are also doing that also. So there is no harm until unless they employ fully trained and fully acquainted valuers in who does the inside valuation in bill. And every organization, any organization, I think all big organizations are doing that, and for any other purposes as well. So there, I don't think there is any harm. Patesa, your view, what is your view about?
Yes, bank has its own system, okay, and they have their own schedule of fees. So
Yeah.
you can't say anything to that, okay. If you are comfortable with that,
So
do the
that is
valuation.
the thing.
Otherwise, forget it. Okay.
Ah, that is true. That is true.
But as I said, that if you go to corporate world, fees is not the criteria, okay. What the
Yes.
criteria is that question, you should have the answer, and you should be confident enough to be responsible and accountable and justify your values to any of the users of the valuation report. Because there, in the corporate world, what happens that the only board of directors are not interested in the valuation. They have to convince to the public at large and that their equity investors, okay, their creditors. I think that is where the confidence level comes, and there you can dictate your fees. Yeah.
So that is what Sunil ji said very rightly, that just don't fill up the form like thing
That's
to
you.
give your valuation.
That's
That's an apt answer because people find it very convenient, but don't only do that.
yeah, yeah,
That that is an absolutely correct way. The format is doing this dangerous thing, and then we are when we say that banks are not doing
and
enough because we
and
are banks want us
and
to do that, na? So
and
why we
about
are not following
yeah,
that in?
and 95% of valuers are comfortable with formats. Okay, and that is what when we initially started.
So we know, sir.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
we know
yeah,
we know
yeah,
we are
yeah.
fully aware of that, and uh, fine, they can do, but don't treat it as a form to be filled
Yes,
just all. That's my
yes.
duty. That is fulfilled. No, what that is what Sunil ji said, and that is that has to be understood by all and sundry. So with that, I think now it is almost like 2:35.
Yeah,
We have
it
overshoot
is quality.
by 35 minutes. So let's call it a day. I think all of us would be feeling hungry. At least I am feeling hungry. So I beg your pardon. Uh,
Online lunch.
yeah, sir, I follow a regime, time regime for my everything. You understand, you can understand. We have to follow that.
Yep.
Thank you very much to all the panelists and all the participants. I think it was a great session, and everyone is agreeing with me. There are questions. There are always questions, but I always say that there should not be question for this just for the sake of question. They should be meaningful. So I think today we have very meaningful questions, and our panelists and all of us have together been able to answer a number of questions and clarifying from our end. And this should carry on. That is how we can develop. Everybody is learning. Even I have learned a lot today by joining this session. So thank you again. Thank you all, sir.